How do you know when you're ready to reach out to sponsors? How do you know when you're truly sponsorship ready? Is it when you need money? Definitely not. To be sponsorship ready in the eyes of your sponsors, you need to do these 5 things. Hi everyone, my name is Chris Bayless, President and CEO of the Sponsorship Collective, and before we dive into today's video, please be sure to hit the subscribe button and the bell icon to make sure you get updates every time we have a new video. So what are the 5 things that you need to do to be ready in the eyes of your sponsors? Simply needing money is not reason enough to reach out to sponsors. In order to be sponsor ready in the opinion of your sponsors, the people with the money, you have to do these 5 things. Step 1, you need to have an inventory of things to sell. I know this seems obvious, but this is often forgotten and skipped. We move right to building a sponsorship package with gold, silver, bronze, or whatever the levels are called, and then we just send it out to brands, hoping that we'll get some money back. This is a big mistake. Sponsorship must always be customized. And in order to fully customize something, you need an exhaustive list of every single thing you have to offer within your organization, your event. If you're an athlete or an influencer, the things that you have to offer a sponsor. Of course you can put logos on stuff and use their products and thank them from the stage, but you really need to build out the things that you can offer a sponsor, a prospect. Aim for at least 100 to 150 individual assets. Now, should you take that list of assets and send it off to your sponsor and invite them to pick from the list? Most definitely not. You take the inventory and move to step number 2. You must know your value. Evaluation is the process of determining what a sponsor would pay for the same assets in the marketplace. If you believe that handing out samples on your sponsor's behalf is worth $100,000, but that sponsor can do a direct mailing to exactly that same audience, sending them samples for $5,000, you are clearly overvalued. So when I say you have to know your value and know what a sponsor or a brand would pay in the marketplace without you, I don't mean if they sponsored some similar event or some similar athlete or engaged in sponsorship with some similar organization. I mean, what would they pay on the free market to get their information, their products, their experiences out to the exact same audience that you offer? The third thing you need in order to be sponsorship ready in the eyes of your sponsors are well-defined audience niches. By that I don't mean people who like hockey or middle-class families. These are not audience segments. You need instead to define who your audience is. Break your audience into various segments. Understand who they are, what they want, demographic information, psychographic information, coming purchases, preferred brands. You need to paint a picture of your audience. Now, most organizations, most individuals, most sponsorship seekers have multiple audience niches within their database. You want to get as granular as possible. Now, once you've done that, you can move on to the 4th step, which is to build activations. The process of building an activation is to simply ask the question, what does my audience want? What do they want more of? Why are they engaging with me, with my property, with my opportunity? What do they expect from a brand that's trying to connect with them? You need to understand your audience and what motivates them, and then build experiences that your audience will love. Putting a logo on a sign in front of your audience or a speech from the stage before dinner at a gala are not great examples of activations. In that case, your audience is just tolerating the existence of the sponsor. Instead, you want to create unique experiences designed for your audience so that your audience walks away saying, if the sponsor wasn't there, my experience would have been worse. right? Or thank goodness that the sponsor was involved in this event, in this experience, because they made it so much better. If that's not how you're practicing sponsorship, you need to do some work before you go to market. The fifth thing that you need to do to be ready for sponsorship sales in the eyes of your sponsors is to be in a position to measure the impact you're having, to measure success, to measure return on investment and report back to your sponsors. In other words, it's not enough to simply put a logo on a sign, tell a sponsor what the market rate is, and define your audience. You actually need to prove that that logo led to a particular action, which is why logo placement isn't really a great way to activate your sponsorship. But you need to be in a position to say that you and your sponsor work together to engage your shared audience in a particular way and create a particular outcome or a particular action, and you are set up to measure it and report on it through a fulfillment report. Remember that sponsorship is a marketing investment. In fact, it's the most powerful tool in the marketing discipline. So you have to know what you have to sell, what it's worth, who your audience is, how you can engage that audience in a meaningful way, and whether or not you're even producing return on investment to your sponsors. Those are the things that brands, that companies, that sponsors look for in a partner. So before you start to reach out to prospects, ask yourself whether or not they agree that you're sponsorship ready. And remember, the sponsorship proposal doesn't make the sale. You do. Good luck.